vibes, find your best self and ride the waves. Alright, breathe into life. Think you got a shot, don't stop, just fire away. It's alright, breathe into life. And if you're feeling good vibes, find your best self and ride the waves. Alright, breathe into life. Think you got a shot, don't stop, just fire away. It's alright, breathe into life. And if you're feeling good vibes, find your best self and ride the waves. Alright, breathe into life. Time after time I question myself. This is not what it seems. Day after day I try to believe. Seems like I'm living a dream. Sometimes it makes me wonder, is there a door that's open? Take a chance and see, can you believe? It's time to live and see the light. Take the time to fight and do what's right. Gotta take it on one step at a time. I'm gonna open my eyes to a brand new day, 'cause I'm here to stay. Temptation, it lies beside me. Today's a give and take. Bounced in despair, make me so crazy. Why did I do this again? Sometimes it makes me wonder, is there a door still open? I can't wait any longer. Do you believe? It's time to live and see the light. Take the time to fight and do what's right. Gotta take it on one step at a time. I'm gonna open my eyes to a brand new day, 'cause I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay. Oh.
We're in the penultimate month of the campaign. We will be a League One club next season, so it's all about finishing this one on a high. Shrewsbury Town are the visitors and they currently sit 10th, so if we want a top 10 place come the end of the season, surely we've got to try and hunt them down. It has been a good start to the season for them. It's been a good season up to now. 16 wins of their 37 league matches, and no doubt they will have a top 10 finish end of season target too. 5 of those 16 came back-to-back early this year, but they arrive at the Valley with only 1 win in their last 4. We should certainly be aiming for all 3 points today. We are live streaming today's game outside of the UK and Ireland as per Earful broadcasting rules, but we've got a packed pre-game show to bring you before kick-off, and here's a taster of what's to come. We'll hear exclusively from manager Dean Holden, who I spoke to a little earlier this afternoon. Today is a very important one in the club's calendar as we celebrate our annual Red, White and Black Day. We'll be catching up with Jess Neal from the Stephen Lawrence Foundation. And we'll also be hearing from our goal-scoring prodigy, Miles Leaburn, who has notched in each of his last 3 matches. Delighted to say Curbs is back from his holiday. It's Brownie who's away at the moment. Curbs, how was Punta Cana?
Lovely.
Yeah?
Can't you tell?
Absolutely. I thought you'd be a little bit browner. Delighted to say, filling in for Brownie, it is, I mean, I have to say, you were superb.
Has Brownie gone away?
Brownie's gone away.
Oh, was he?
He's in Turkey. Did you not know that?
He thought he sacked him.
No.
Right. Let me introduce Kevin Lisbie anyway, for those of you who don't know. Liz was superb a couple of weeks ago, filling in for you, funny enough.
All I've heard about Liz lately is he's a temp from the halfway line.
Was that from Brownie?
Well, apparently you took a shot from the halfway line?
No, it wasn't a shot. It was I just kicked the ball.
Oh,
it wasn't actually a shot.
To hit the bar or something?
No, I was trying. Yeah, I was trying to hit the bar, but I was trying not to get injured.
I couldn't reach actually from back in the day from the halfway line, let alone nowadays. But are you happy coming off the bench for Brownie? Couldn't have happened too often, that could it?
It's an upgrade, isn't it, me coming in for Brownie? Definitely. And because he's gone, I've got a blazer on today as well because I got a little bit of stick last time. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm always happy to be here, especially because
Turkey. You're not happy with that?
No, just
he should have asked you permission.
No, but he never goes anywhere, does he?
Well, he doesn't, but he did send a text to us on the group WhatsApp, didn't he? And basically said it was him of his feet. We normally get one from Curbs and some beach somewhere in the world. We got it from Brownie, so at least it's a little bit different watching that. But he said, I'm in the shade. He said, I can't handle the sun.
I think we went Turkey, didn't it?
Yeah. But you are back.
Yeah.
When's the next one?
June.
Where are you going?
Greece.
Nice. That'll be nice and hot as well. Liz, you got anything booked up at all?
No. Too busy coaching and teaching and mentoring. So I will do in the 6 weeks break, but for now I'm working.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm off to Thailand on Monday.
Oh,
so
he set himself up there, didn't he?
Yeah.
In case we found out at some stage.
Set himself up.
So at least I'm telling you now. Just on that, by the way, Brownie, being sunning himself, although not really sunning himself, I'm sure. Well-earned break for him, or should he still be here and you shouldn't be allowed to go on during the season?
I think he still should be here,
yeah,
taking the stick that he thoroughly deserves and struggling to give any back.
What I would say though, Liz, he did send a text and said, whatever you do, give Liz some stick on his clopper. So it's funny that you actually, you come, you're looking good. He knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming, which is why I've got the blazer on today.
I bet Brownie's missus had to pack for him.
He definitely would have. Look, just on the football quickly, picked up 4 points while you were away, Curbs, and adding to the 4 that we just before you jetted off. So happy with the sort of
it's just
how things are going at the moment?
The problem's here, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the moment. And no, I actually watched the game last week in Dominican Republic. Yeah.
I was at a golf day with you midweek. You said that, didn't you?
I watched it all up until their goal, Wickham's goal. And I just thought, I can't watch it. I watched the first half in the room. It's only 29 degrees outside, but I watched it in the room. Then I came out just to see what my missus was up to, and I couldn't really see it that well in the sun.
Yeah.
So when
was she not watching?
Was she happy that you walked away?
She went, who are they playing? I went, anyway, so 10 minutes to go, they equalised, didn't they? Corner flick on, whatever.
Corner from a corner, yeah.
And I thought, I can't watch the next 10 minutes, so I didn't.
So you enjoyed your holiday then?
Yeah, Saturday afternoon.
But he's done the equivalent of literally walking out of a stadium, hasn't he, with 10 minutes to go? That's what he's done.
Put the phone down.
I couldn't watch it because I just thought, right, whatever's going to be.
Absolutely. Look, let's crack on, shall we? I was going to ask you about Shrewsbury and today and top 10, but we can do that a little bit later. Over already. Let's hear from the gaffer, Dean Holden, who I spoke to a little bit earlier. Dean, good to see you. Can you believe we are in April? It comes around quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'd only realised just before lunchtime, April Fool's, so I've managed to get the staff with an absolute cracker, actually. But I'm not going to tell
What
you.
was it?
I can't tell you on it. It's related to football and whatever else. But I had all of them. Yeah, 5 or 6 of them on the group chat. We're panicking this morning, but everything's good. You're right. It's not long to go now, is there?
No.
We've just got to take care of this game today. Make sure we try and get a good performance as we've seen in recent weeks.
And the reason why I bring up April is because just before you actually tell us the side, how much are you thinking about next season?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking a lot about it, but only sort of 3 o'clock in the day onwards once the players have left the training ground. Planning, you can't take your eye off the next game in this, because if we go into the summer on the back of a bad run and that it leads to, you want to lead the opposite. You want momentum, you want positivity, which we've had pretty much since I've been in the job. You want to carry that on, and you want the fans to be excited. The season ticket campaign's obviously alive now. I'm sure they'll get more and more excited as the summer goes on with signings that we're looking to make and things like that. Don't believe everything you read in the press in terms of players, but hopefully we'll get some good ones in. That's the plan. So I'm really excited about that. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we do what we're paid to do, which is take care of the next game, and that's all the focus is on really for the most of the day. And then, as I say, towards the afternoon and the evenings, that's when you start focusing on next season.
So what about the team then today?
So one change from last week. Terrell Thomas, obviously, he's had a really good time away with his country. They've qualified, as we spoke about last week, so he's in a good place. He was back lunchtime on Wednesday. Sleep patterns have not really been affected. He feels fit. The 2 games he played were quite a slow tempo from what he's been used to, and he played well in the 2 games at Morecambe and Cambridge prior to going away. And another little added thing is he gives us an extra bit of bite from set pieces, both attacking and defensively. So one change, Terrell comes in for Sess at left back.
And it will come with a lot of confidence, as you say, off the back of what happened with his internationals. In terms of the run that we're on as well, it's 4 games unbeaten as well. How pleased are you with that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as I've said before, I think if we'd have won the 2 home games and got a point at the 2 away games, everybody might have seen it a little bit differently. I think on the back of that sort of mini run that we had, 4 or 5 games, we didn't pick up many points. It was important that we put that to bed quickly, because earlier in the season, talking to Dob on 1 or 2, there was a couple of longer runs than that sort of festered, and confidence can drop and things like that. So that's not been allowed to happen. We've focused on what we do well. We've stuck to the plan. I think the players have benefited from that consistent way of working. We don't throw the toys out of the pram too much when there's a defeat. We deal with it, and same when we win a game, we look at the good stuff. But equally, there's lots to learn. We know we're miles away from where we need to get to. So you're right, this is the next game. It's a good game for us, a team just above us in the league, and if we want to have aspirations to get in the top 10 at least, then we obviously need to get a positive result today.
Yeah, is that the plan? I mean, obviously they are the team in 10th at the moment, finish top 10 for the season.
Yeah, I think in the short term, I think when we first, it's changing all the time, Scott. When we come in, it was let's get away from the danger zone, let's stay up, and that had to be the aim. We weren't even thinking about playoffs at that point. Then we got on that good run. We started having a bit of a look. Then we had 4 or 5 games we didn't pick. I think we picked up 1 point in 5 games. So all of a sudden we were getting dragged slightly back into it. We've took care of that now, and now we're in a position to top 10 in the short term is the aim. If we can get there in the next few games, then we'll reassess. But short-term goals, I believe, are what will benefit, certainly the group that we've got at the moment.
Final one as well now. It's an important day in the club's calendar, of course, with it being our annual Red, White and Black Day. How much have you learnt about the club's anti-discrimination work since you've come here?
A lot, to be honest. I mean, we had the Stephen Lawrence Day Foundation guys came in on Thursday, addressed the players and staff as we've done in recent weeks with the different campaigns. I think it's important, again, that I've said it before, that they get a real education as to what that is, as opposed to just turning up and sticking a T-shirt on and reading it in the news. I think it was a really powerful video. I have to say there was 1 or 2 tears in the room. I think it was, to think it was 30 years ago, obviously, since Stephen was murdered in a racist attack. It's hard to believe. Can you imagine getting that phone call as a parent? So what they've done, the family, I think Baroness Lawrence is at the game today, I'm led to believe, which again for the club is a huge moment. I think we've been involved for 25 years now in this campaign. So, and I didn't know it was around the corner. Drive past the scene every day on my way to training. So it just shows you what can happen. And as I say, the family pulled together a fantastic foundation. We're right behind it as a football club. I'm really proud to be associated, I have to say. So really pleased that the guys will be at the game today. Hopefully we can put on a good show for them.
Well said. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, very well said indeed, Dean. Let's have a look at the team, shall we? Just the one change with Terrell back after what was a very successful international period. Congratulations to him. Finished the CONCACAF Nations League campaign with a 100% record, been promoted to League B for the next edition of the Nations League. So just the one change then, Curbs. And look, with the bit that you did see in a Punta Cana hotel room.
That was 80 minutes.
80 minutes as well. Again, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? The mindset is about trying to keep a consistent 11 and trying to finish the season on a high rather than playing lots of kids, for example.
Well, in all fairness, there's kids in there, aren't there?
Yeah.
You know, so I think if Lucas Ness was about, he probably might be slipping around as well. So we've got enough. Right down the middle, Maynard Brewer and Miles and, you know, Campbell and Thomas, etc. So we've got enough youngsters in there. The aim has got to be to finish strongly, especially turn this home form around and make us more attractive in the summer. That's the only thing I'll be looking at now, is that obviously, don't know the ownership situation, but if there's not a lot of money about, then we've got to make ourselves attractive to get the sort of loans we got a couple of years. No disrespect to what's come in recently, but the Cullens and the Gallaghers of this world, we've got to try and attract them sort of players. And the way we can do that is finish strongly.
Do you like the balance of the team?
I do. I think that Dean changed it a little bit and had Rasaki perhaps playing up top, and we lost him because of it. You know, listen, I think we've got to get used to the fact that Chuck Zaniki and Corey Blackett are going to be out at some stage. You know, they've got this injury situation, so let's have a look at Campbell and see if he's a ready-made replacement.
And yet this is still pretty attacking, isn't it, with Raksaki, Leeburn and Campbell?
Oh yeah, I like it. It's pace. Me and Kevin was talking earlier about perhaps Miles and the attributes he's got. The one that I don't see and I want to see is him going behind back fours or back fives. He's got the pace, right? But I don't think he's worked out perhaps the best way to do it. I've seen him pointing like that a lot, put it in the channel, but the centre half ain't going to be fooled by that, is he? He's got to be coming short then going, and he's got the pace to do that. So that's the one thing with Miles at the moment. He holds the ball up very well, he brings people into the game, he's nicking a goal. Right, start hurting them centre halves so that you can come short and turn.
Yeah. But that system, Liz, does lend itself to the attacking players, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And even the last game I watched, I thought they were dangerous. I thought the first half they caused all sorts of problems, and our first goal actually came from, as Curb spoke about, running in behind. And I think, as Curb said, I would like to see a few of them running behind just to create room for maybe for themselves or for others at times. But yeah, they looked dangerous for 45 minutes. Obviously, Miles came off, so it changed the dynamic of the team. But
and also, as you know, if you're playing against Brownie and you keep going short, he's happy, isn't he?
Yeah.
You spin Brownie in the channels, he's got something to think about, and that's what I'd just like to see a bit more from our front three.
His knees, he never wanted to spin into the channels. Let's have a look at the table, shall we, in League One. And we are in the top half, so we'll only show that. 12th. Following our draw to Wickham, and Exeter's 5-0 thrashing of Accrington saw them go above us on goal difference. They since beat promotion chasing Barnsley, so they're 3 points ahead of us. The only other movement in the top half last weekend saw Bolton and Derby switch places without Bolton even playing. That's because Derby lost at Peterborough. The big shock came, Curbs, on Sunday when Sheffield Wednesday were beaten 1-0 at Forest Green. You know, Sheffield Wednesday started a game midweek as they drew 2-2 at Cheltenham, and you know, we're sort of wondering whether Plymouth would be the team to drop. It's no winning 4 now for Wednesday, and that's a big club, isn't it, where they can get very nervous very quickly.
Well, I know you just said that about Barnsley, because the way Barnsley were playing, you think, right, they're going to perhaps make a challenge. Listen, everyone talks about this run-in, and as Fergie goes, squeaky bum time and everything else. The pressure is on them top 6 or 7, the pressure's on, and especially the top 2. So that's going to be a fascinating end to it. I still think Sheffield Wednesday and perhaps Ipswich. I'm looking at Ipswich, but they've got a bit to do still. But if they win that game in hand, but it's going to be a real tight one.
How much is it in the mind as much as ability now?
yeah, of course it is. As Curb said, it's got nothing to do with the running you have in now. It's more to do with how you deal with the pressures that are coming, because every game is going to be hard. You don't just turn up and win League One games, especially at this point in the season. I'm still going to go with Plymouth, even though Curbs is sided with Brownie and said Ipswich. I'm still going to go Plymouth. I think out of all of them, I think Plymouth have the least pressure on themselves.
All right, yeah.
And I think that will play into their hands. So I think they'll be happy with a playoff spot, Plymouth. And obviously being where they are, I think that takes the pressure off them a little bit. So I'm still going to go Plymouth and maybe Ipswich, I think.
No easy game in League One. Let's have a look at the 10 games this afternoon. Apart from ourselves, a standout fixture got to be Derby at Ipswich at Pride Park. That'll have an impact in both automatic and playoff places. Touched on a moment ago, Barnsley had the chance to go 3 points behind the top two Tuesday night, fluff the lines. Opportunity to close the gap on the top two to 4 points if they can. And Peterborough, Portsmouth, Wickham all have home games against struggling sides. Lot, that's another cracker, isn't it? One of your old clubs, Ipswich at Derby.
Oh, that's a brilliant game. I think after today, I think we know a lot more in terms of where Ipswich are going to be, because I think Derby are a good team, inconsistent, but I think they're probably one of the favourites for the playoff spot. And if they get in the playoff spots, I think Derby will actually do it. So I think that's a massive game for Ipswich today, and they don't want Plymouth getting too far away from them, because I think they'll struggle to catch them.
Curbs, we're next back in action on Friday for what is always a busy Easter weekend. How crazy is the month of April?
Well, it depends how you're going, really, doesn't it? I mean, if you're having a good time, it doesn't bother you, does it? If you're not doing so well and you've got to think about it a bit more and the training's a little bit more difficult. So let's hope that we get the result today and it takes us in, because it's a little bit of a run, consistent, takes us into that period, and you fly through it if you're doing well.
OK, as always, let's take a quick break, shall we, and get to club news updates, and we'll start with this.
And back in again to Kinsella, and that one has gone in. There they go with Lisbie, what a run.
What makes a house a home? Good times are celebrated, bad times are consoled. New generations are born, while others grow old. The walls steeped in history, memories everywhere. And our door the gateway to it all, the place we love, the place we care. In '92 we came home after 7 years away, and that first game back was just the perfect day. Fast forward 6 years, and oh how we'd grown. That noise was deafening when Sean Newton drove home. The rewards of '92 had come into play, and we'd then be off to march down Wembley Way. Our top flight stay was brief, though we'd soon be back. 12 league wins in a row had us right on track. The new Millennium's champions were Curbs South London boys, and in the next 7 years, we'd make plenty of noise. Come 2012, and we'd taken some knocks. Then a club legend returned to rebuild those blocks. 30 league wins and 101 points earned. It was one hell of a ride. That record-breaking League One title had restored our pride. The knocks came again, but that's just Charlton's DNA. Our resilience tested, never more so than on this magical night in May. Euphoria and despair traded blows all night. When our emotions poured out, it was an incredible sight. Our next test is now, but history shows we'll recover. We've had comeback after comeback. It's time for another. Be there at our home, the Valley, to cheer on your team. Once we get it right, it will again be time to dream. There's no place like home.
No place like home, and season tickets for 23-24 now on sale. And yes, this season has been disappointing on the whole, but we are Charlton. We always bounce back, and we always need you. You can get full details on season tickets by heading to cafc.co.uk. But look, I have to say, if Brownie's here, if Brownie's watching even from Turkey, I'm sure we'll get her a text. It's Lizzie's goal again against honestly, another one of Lizzie's
My
goals.
phone just went off. It might be in. My phone just went off.
Listen, it's nice to see all the time now, isn't it? Special goal.
I think for me, looking at that, it's just nice to be a part of the club's history. I think look at all those great moments and to be a part of that, and I'm sure Curbs will. To be and not just a massive part of it, that's really satisfactory. Obviously scoring the goals, but to be a part of that team and the history of the club is good to see.
I can see him smiling there. He's got a little
every
twinkle
time I
in
see
his
that
eye.
goal, every time I see the goal where he's bending around the keeper. When he gets it at the halfway line, I'm looking around going, who's he going to pass it to? Who's he going to pass it to? Kev, who?
3 times.
I know.
Everyone ran away
Well,
from
25 years later, you're still saying pass it. But look, the bigger picture here really is how much, when we're all in this together, and it has been a tough time over many of the last few years, to be fair, but you know, we need the fans, don't we, for next season?
We've had tougher times, but we do need the fans. I've said it a couple of times, and I don't mind being derogatory about the support, but apart from when Ben Garner got sent off here, I can't remember the crowd really getting going. May have been the Ipswich game. That was the game, wasn't it? Where we come back from 4-2 to 4-4. They haven't really got going, and I've heard Dean, I've heard Ben talk about the atmosphere, and we know what the atmosphere is like, and so does the opposition, and it ain't been the same. We need the fans back, and I think the only way that's going to happen is by getting results on the pitch, here especially, because it does make a difference. You know as well as I do, when the stadiums are full, or not even that, you can hear everything, especially the manager. You can hear him screaming out. No one wants to come and play over. No one wanted to play over that side.
Yeah, get hold of it. You've lost it twice now, Kevin.
Listen, I was left back throwing, used to get it all the time. I just cock a deafening all the time. Look, I'm absolutely delighted to announce now as well that our now famous upbeat Spargy burger had been ranked 4th in Footy Scran's league table of football foods. Now, Footy Scran is a Twitter account that has over 500,000 followers, and our burger was rated at 93.4% Scran by the general public. And if you're watching this on the concourses, please make sure you go and get yourself a Bargy burger today, which is exactly what we have just done. Now have a look at that. Curbs, Liz, you going to have a go?
Listen, let me tell you.
You going to have a bite?
Probably when you was playing, this was the pre-match meal.
Do we want a bite or not?
What is it again?
It's a Bargy burger. Am I going to be the only one here to have a bite?
We just had a pie.
Did you? I didn't.
Oh, be careful.
Yeah.
You've got a white shirt on, do a brighty.
Don't do a brighty. There's no red wine there.
Oh.
Oh, I've got it all. I've got it all.
Guys, it's amazing, and congratulations. Should we carry on now?
No, we're doing it. It is nice.
I've got to finish my food now as well. We still talk.
Well, need a camera. Come on,
Josh, help us out here. Charlton's under-18s continued their impressive league form by thrashing Wigan 5-0 at Sparrows Lane Saturday morning. Midfielder Ryan Hook bagged a brace. That's the first of his goal there. About to see the second. And the scoring was completed by further goals from Corey Anderson, Brooke Myers and an own goal. So you have to say it is a very big well done to Piercy and his side. Right place, right time, Liz. I know you like a goal like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Too busy cleaning the table, aren't you? The mess you've made here. The Charlton women's team continued their impressive form on Wednesday night by beating Lewis 1-0 at the Oakwood in the Barclays Women's Championship in what is fair to say, not the easiest of conditions. How about this for a turn and strike from Frida Aisi? She bagged the only goal of the game midway through the second half, meaning that they ended the month of March unbeaten, winning 3, drawing 3, and they'll be hoping to continue their impressive form this month when they travel to London City Lionesses on Sunday. As I say, did well to keep her feet there, didn't she? Delighted to announce that earlier this week we were named as the EFL's joint 6th most sustainable club by Sport Positive. Our score of 14.5 was only beaten by 5 clubs in the EFL, with Forest Green Rovers, perhaps unsurprisingly, leading the way with a score of 24. You can find out more about the ways the club is trying to become more sustainable by heading to cafc.co.uk. And lastly, I can confirm our Player of the Month nominees for March. We have selected Michael Hector, Miles Leeburner we'll hear from in a bit, Tyrese Campbell and Jez Raksaki. I'm just trying to get Josh, the cameraman, to just look. Can you put this at least down there, please? I want to finish it off. Please put it in a good place. It's nice. Hope your hands are clean.
Yeah.
We'll have to get another one now. I'm not eating that, Josh. Sorry, I'm not eating that now. But please, can we get another party? That was honestly, it was really, really nice.
Hot ones.
Look, I mean, actually, Curbs, you touched on it there. We talked about the possibility of Dean playing sort of youngsters, but he is playing youngsters, isn't he? And two of the youngsters there, obviously there's Jez as well, who's not our player, as part of Player of the Month. So what do you want to see?
They've worked their way in, and I think where Dean's at the moment is, if you're doing it, if you've been put in a team, you're doing it, or you're showing in training that perhaps I should give you a chance, then fine, that's great. But the youngsters are coming through, and you always need a healthy section of the team to be youngsters, homegrown. The fans appreciate it more, so it's looking good. I think that we said on a couple of occasions, you know, as the young player comes through, you'd like to see the academy clap them in the morning. You know what I mean? After they've made their debut and things like that. It's all part and parcel of it. We've got a healthy mix now in the squad. And I've been advocating for the last couple of weeks about giving Dean a contract and giving him the opportunity to experiment. But the youngsters have come in, but we're past that now. We need to get a strong finish. Yeah. So I don't think he will be experimenting too much. He needs to get the results to make us look, as I said earlier, more attractive in the summer.
Absolutely. OK, back to today now. We are truly honoured to be joined by the Stephen Lawrence Foundation, including Baroness Doreen Lawrence as well. And early this afternoon, Charlotte Regison caught up with Jessica Neal from the Foundation.
Thank you, Scott, and a very warm welcome, Jess, to Charlton TV. It's great to have you here pitchside. Now, you work for the Stephen Lawrence Day Foundation. Firstly, tell us a little bit about the charity and the work that you do.
Thank you so much for having me. The Stephen Lawrence Day Foundation was founded by Baroness Lawrence to take forward the charitable impact of Stephen's legacy. The overarching aim of the foundation is to inspire a more equitable society for young people from marginalised communities in the UK and to foster opportunities for them. Our work is in three key areas, so careers, classrooms and communities.
And you've had a very busy week ahead of Red, White and Black Day here at the Valley. What have you been up to?
It's been an extraordinary week spending time with you guys. Yeah, we've had some really fantastic discussions with some of your players and some of the team behind the scenes, and then we had the opportunity to come and chat to the first teams about our work.
And you mentioned the discussion that we had on Monday, yeah. So I got the opportunity to speak to first team players Michael Hector, Sean Clare and Head of Player Care Tracy Leeburn, and it was a fascinating conversation. I took a lot away from it. I just wondered, how important is it that we have those open dialogues and we have those conversations that cover a whole variety of sometimes tough subjects?
Yeah, absolutely. Often when we talk about the idea of diversity, we talk about it from the perspective of kind of the moral obligation, and absolutely that exists. But I think the thing that's often missed is the fact that diversity is about different perspectives and bringing different people from different walks of life together to share their lived experience and look at challenges from all different perspectives. That's how we get the most well-rounded solutions.
Yeah, it's so enriching to listen and be part of those conversations. Charlton has had such a long, proud history in representing equality, reflecting diversity in our society. For supporters listening and tuning in, what can they do to embody that and take that in their day-to-day lives, not just here when they come and support Charlton at the Valley?
I think you really can't overstate the potential that football has, whether that's the players, the fans, the people watching at home, the teams behind, to drive meaningful social change, to create a football environment that is inclusive and representative and where there's a true sense of belonging for all different sorts of people.
Well, Jess, thank you so much for joining us here today. Thank you for the incredible, impactful work that you do at the Foundation as well.
Thanks for having us.
Back over to you in the studio, Scott.
Well, look, guys, you know, community plays a huge part here at Charlton, and we've spoken about many times before, and the players have had a few presentations delivered to them in the last few weeks now. Curbs, how good is that to see?
Absolutely. I think we all need educating, even now. I mean, how long ago was that? 30 odd years ago, wasn't it? We need educating still. I remember it clearly. Because it happened in Eltham, and, you know, the training ground is there as well, so... And you got the feeling that could have been anyone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, it was a learning curve, I think, for everybody then, so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, look, Liz, it was 1993, as Curb says, happened, you know, close to the Valley, certainly close to the training ground. How crucial is it that we support the Foundation?
Yeah, definitely 100%. And as Curbs just said, we all can do with learning, we all could do with understanding. And I think we've come so far since then. And the fact that we're still talking about it 30 years onwards shows that it's not forgotten. And hopefully with that we can get a lot more change in it. And this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
Absolutely, it should never be forgotten. OK, back to today now, and I caught up with our golden boy, Miles Lieburn, a little bit earlier. Miles, really good to see you. Look, it's your first season in senior football. You've scored in your last 3 matches. You're double figures now as well. Can you believe it? As I say, your first season in senior football has gone so well.
Yeah, no, it's been very, very, very proud achievement of mine to be able to get these double figures. I don't think I quite imagined it going this well, but yeah, no, it's been surreal.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're also the youngest player in England's top 4 leagues to reach 10 goals this season. That must sound crazy to you as well.
Yeah, no, when I heard it, it's a crazy stat, and just hope to build on it even more. Yeah.
Tell us what the aspirations were at the start of the season.
But yeah, at the start of the season, I was more thinking like I'll try and get like little appearances here and there with the first team, but trying to mainly establish myself as the number 1 in that under 21 squad, and then trying to push in, maybe get on the bench for this team. But yeah, it's just
You've certainly done that. And how have you found the difference between men's football and academy football?
Yeah, I can. From my first few starts and like first few appearances, you could really see like the physicality change, and obviously the like mental battles and the tactics, where it's like not even like for set pieces. I'm talking about like what the defenders will try and get you angry during the game, try and give you little nicks here and there. But yeah, it's been the physicality is the biggest part. That's been a difference.
Did they say anything to you verbally as well, or is it more just a physical thing?
Yeah, I don't think I can repeat some of the things they say to me on here, but yeah, no, they try to say some things, I might give it back. But yeah, at the end of the day, by the end of the game, it's all just good game, so it's all just part of it, innit? Well,
we all love the fact that you're not overawed by it, and we love the fact, I certainly love the fact you gave that Harry Maguire that little push off the ball as well, which shows I don't care who you are, I'm here. I thought it was brilliant. And look, you might be sick and tired about people asking about your dad, but he was my roommate, so I'm certainly going to as well. What's your relationship with him in terms of talking football, strikers, or do you not talk to him that much?
No, throughout my whole life he's been there advising me, giving me advice, helping me here and there. Not as much this season because obviously on Saturdays he works, so he won't be able to make it to some of the games, but for the games he makes it after games in the car, he'll be helping me out, telling me things I did well, what maybe I could improve on for the next game. Yeah.
You know, his highest tally in a single season is 16 goals.
Yeah, no.
You going for that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to rub some salt in the wounds if I break that.
I'm sure he'd be the first person you call it when you do, and I'm sure it'd be a when. If not this season, it would definitely be in the next few seasons. In terms of Miles, what are we expecting for Miles Lieburn for the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, just hoping, like you said, that record, I'll try and beat that, and yeah, just more goals hopefully, and just rack up these wins to push on to next season.
Miles, great to speak to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
It's funny, just beforehand, actually, before we went on air there, talking to him, you said, blimey, how tall are you? He said 6'5", nearly 6'6". What's your old man then? He's only 6'3". He's got that kind of that kind of nice arrogance about him already that we've seen, Curbs.
Well, I think we're forgetting as well, his season's been disrupted with that ankle injury, where he was flying, wasn't he? And he took that ankle injury, and I thought he'd done it again a couple of weeks ago when he went down. Yeah, so it's great. As I say, I think the stuff we're seeing at the moment is different to anything we've got. If he can add that in behind stuff, he's going to be really dangerous, you know. And I think he's got. If it was me, that's what I'd be working on with him, because the other stuff comes natural. I think he's not quite getting going in behind and in between centre halves and when to run and when not, you know. So that would be what I'll be working on.
As I mentioned in the interview, though, Miles is the youngest player in the Premier League or EFL to reach 10 goals this season.
Penalties as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's incredible, really, how in his first full season, and again, the arrogance, but it's a nice arrogance. It's like confidence. He seems to have got that balance right, and you have to say, with the mum that he's got and the dad that he's got, he probably will keep on like that.
Yeah, it's a massive achievement, isn't it? Just to score 10 goals and no penalties, and also, as Curb said, the amount of injuries he's had this season, the amount of times he's had off that pitch, and to still get those numbers. And I was with his dad the other day, and his dad's so proud of him. Not just the fact that he's scoring, but how he conducts himself off the pitch, on the pitch, and he's he's a great example because he obviously got released by Chelsea and then to step back into the game and do what he's doing, and I have no doubt he'll probably play Premiership one day.
I was going to ask, I mean, one, it's a great point that Liz mentions there. When you have that initial setback, that a lot of players, young kids, can't come back from that, but he does that. Feels like you've got a point to prove.
Absolutely, yeah.
What do you feel is the limit for him?
Well, I think that the one main attribute he's got, and me and Kevin were speaking about as we was walking over, is the pace. If you're going to go in the Premier League, you need the pace. There's no doubt about it. They're tremendous athletes, and that's what he is. He's a tremendous athlete. He has come on and played wide, right? So that's not going to bother him if he ends up in a free. So it's not as if I can only play in one position. So he's got a lot of attributes. I know you don't want to hear this, but let's hope he's signed up for some time.
He is.
Oh, right, okay, okay. And let's hope we don't get anyone sniffing around him yet, because I think he needs to be here for another season at least. You've seen the young boy Burstow go off. I've not heard anything about that situation. But Miles needs to stay here, get 20 goals next season, and then the big boys will be looking.
He definitely needs to beat his old man next season anyway, 16 goals. Carlo's best was 16, so we'll see. If he doesn't do that this season, he can aim to do it next season. And if a big bid does come in, I do hope it's almost like, okay, but he's got to come back on loan here for a year.
Yeah, because I think he needs to be playing under no pressure, so he can, a bit like Razaki is at the moment, because he's not part of our club. But he needs to be playing not under any pressure, so he can make mistakes and he enjoys football. Then when he's at the big club, and I always felt this about Scotty, people were sniffing around Scotty, and I thought, well, when you go, you're going to be ready.
Yeah.
A bit like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. I'm happy with that. That's
I can see he's
Curbs.
He don't take too many compliments.
Well, you don't give many compliments. That's what it is. But I agree. I think he's a Premier League player in the making. He's just got to keep on the road in the right way and make his move at the right time. Okay, look, as we said, Miles brought up his 10th goal of the season against Wycombe last time out. Let's have a look back at the game as well. And Curbs, look, you won't hear, but you watched 80 minutes, you say, in the phone, in the Sun Lounger, or was it back in the room? What did you think? It was one of those bitty games where you're thinking, do you know what, as long as we can hold out, that's okay.
Yeah. Albie Morgan there, it's a great run, and he got a bit of criticism for this, but he has gone for goal, hasn't he? But lucky enough.
But does he show Miles again, right place, right time?
Great position. He took up a real good position there, I think. I think he knew if he miskicks it, then he's in the right place. So, yeah, I'll give the striker a bit of credit for that rather than the person who misses it.
Well, I think they showed Wycombe they're a decent outfit, aren't they? In the top half, and have been strong all season. And we did well. I just think that perhaps we've not got that about us to see it out. And you just felt something was going to, because we didn't get the second goal, you felt something was going to come along.
Yeah, I mean, the highlights aren't perhaps a fair reflection of the 90 minutes, but we do see Ash making some good saves, and that being the pick of it. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, they go and score from that corner.
Yeah. It's a flick on, is it? No,
How disappointed would you be from this? It's one simple header.
Well, he's run off a clear, isn't he? There, it looks like,
I think the disappointing thing about it is they've got the shot off, keeper's made a good save, and then you're sort of not acknowledging the danger signs straight away, and they score straight away.
This is a bit I must have missed then.
This is the last 10 minutes.
I think you're too busy putting factor 20 on your skin at the time.
He's made another save,
Another good save.
But how good is it to see him playing well, Ash?
Well, I just said earlier when we was over in the lounge, the spine. Ash, Lucas, Miles. I would like to have seen Henry. Is it? Come in and perhaps get a game, but obviously Dean's in a different position at the moment, as we said. But it looks like the spine, we've got youngsters coming, we've got a really strong spine of youngsters.
Yeah. Let's have a look at both teams, shall we? And so we only got one change from today, is Terrell, who comes in for Stephen Sessignon, who drops to the bench. And in terms of Shrewsbury, Curbs, I mean, look, first of all, you have to say, Steve Cottrell, good to see him fit and well again, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He struggled through COVID, catching
really
COVID.
Bad.
Yeah,
I think he was in hospital, caught it twice, I think, yeah.
But since winning 6 consecutive league matches in January and February, they've won just 2 of the last 7, so this could be a good time to play him.
Absolutely. I think that, I think Dean mentioned it in his interview there, that If the results would have been different, that would have won the home games and perhaps drawn the away games, then there wouldn't have been too many people looking at it. But you know, if you're going to win promotion, you've got to win most of your games at home, and that's got to be what we've got to be aiming for next season.
And without a win in 5 away league matches, Liz. So again, at the moment they're not in great form, and we have to make the most of that.
Yeah, and as Curb says, in order to do well, I know we're not thinking about next season, but you've got to win your home games. It's really important you win your home games, and I know we spoke about, obviously, if it was the other way around, people wouldn't say as much, but you should win at home, because that's your foundation. That's where you need to win at home to get promoted. So I think it's a big game for us.
I think you've got to win 25, 26, 27 games to win promotion, and you've got to be up near the 16, 17, 18 mark at home.
Yeah. Just got to watch out for Luke Lear there. He's number 3. He's the captain. He's their top scorer with 11 goals. 8 of those have come from the penalty spot. So he's pretty clinical there, you have to say. Look, I mean, Curbs, we picked up 4 points whilst you were away. How important is it that we get this home form sorted?
Well, we've been saying it for some time. Firstly, you need to do that because we're talking about promotion teams, whatever, but we've got to do it for the fans. We've got to get more people in here. And the only way you're going to do that is results on the pitch, especially here. So it's important that we finish strongly now to the end of the season, win our home games, season tickets, etc., etc., and have a bit of confidence about the place.
And psychologically, to beat a team that's currently in 10th, and if we were to finish 10th and looking ahead to next season as well, which obviously is what we're doing.
If we finish in the top 10 from where Dean took over, I think people are forgetting where we were. Because we was I mean, you was always looking up.
Not always.
But me and Brownie were looking that way a little bit, and we thought, well, if the results go a bit wonky, then we are going to be in a bit of trouble. But he's done really well.
Yeah.
You know, so much so we forgot all about that.
Well, it wasn't that long ago, Liz, where we needed a couple of wins just to make sure that we weren't going to go down. So again, you know, we're on this kind of run. But from your point of view, if you're a player that you could be thinking of Charlton and the history they've got, not going too well at the moment, but you know if you get on the crest of the wave, what could happen. How important then is it to attract a player like you, for example, that they do finish the season really well? Yeah,
definitely. I think, and it's quite easy to get drawn into relegation battle fights. I know sometimes, as Curb says, sometimes you want to look up, but I think it's probably as important to look behind you as well, just so you got a reality check of where you are, because bigger teams than us have gone down to leagues as well. So I think Curb's spot on in terms of where we were when he first took over to where we are now, looking at the table and where we could finish. I think it'll be a decent season for him, and then you're then looking at next season.
And it's a balance as well, isn't it? We talk about we need the fans, but the fans need to see, you know, decent play on the pitch, don't
Absolutely,
they?
yeah.
And then they'll get behind them.
I mean, looking at the players' point of view, when we've got crowds like we have today, as we said earlier jokingly, you can hear everything, you can hear the criticism, so that makes the player think negatively. I'm not going to try this, but if I give it away, not only is the manager going to have a go, but the crowd's going to have a go. So you get drawn into playing safety first. Well, you don't want that, do you? You want to go out and enjoy yourself, and as it happens, is normally the best thing. So yeah, it makes a big difference when this crowd is making a noise.
How conscious were you as a manager to, when things weren't going so well, that you didn't want to sort of add that pressure on the players, so they did go out there being able to perform in the way that they can in the training way, rather than feeling that pressure of a match situation?
Well,
the fans on top of it.
That's the trick, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That is the trick. And what we said about them teams going for promotion at the moment, they're going to find similar pressures, as Kevin said earlier, mental pressures, and it's up to the manager to try and ease that. I mean, I've been through both ends of it, obviously. It's a lot better when you're up there, let me tell you.
How difficult is it then when you're up there or down there dealing with that kind of pressure?
Well, I know you hear managers saying, I don't look at results and it's all about us. Well, it ain't. A bit of it is, you know, but you are looking at what's going on and etc. and you're hoping for a favour here, there, everywhere. But no, I think when you get into this running, if you are down the bottom or just off it, or you're at the top, you're just wishing your life away a little bit. You just want to get to the end, don't you? And you don't perhaps get the performances, you just need the results.
Yeah. Just looking at the lads warming up now, and you think about that front three. Obviously, Jez isn't our player, and he won't be around next season. But it's a very young, attacking, exciting front three, Liz, isn't it?
Yeah, and each game they play, every month they play is experience, is a bit more know-how because you're going to need that in League One in order to get promoted. So I think they're understanding and maturing well, and as Curb said, I think it's good that Lee Burn stays another year as well. I think it's really important for his development that he plays games, keeps on playing games. There is a hint of pressure, but I think when you get to a bigger club, it's a different sort of pressure, and not everyone can play under that straight away without the right grounding. So I'm hoping that they do well this season, and next year they benefit for it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is a big club in the wrong division at the moment, and it's not easy to try and turn things around. Dean so far has come in. He's done a great job. His contract signed. He's talked about the players that he wants. He won't mention names, and rightly so, but if we can finish well, get towards the end of the season in that 10th spot, then it just makes it a little bit more positive than it could have been. OK, time to hand over to this afternoon's commentary team. The one and only, or should I say the two and only, Terry Smith and Greg Stubley.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, Curbs. Yes, the two and only. We'll settle for that. Afternoon again, welcome everybody to the Valley this afternoon as the Addicts take on Shrewsbury Town in the final run-in of the season. Greg and the guys are saying in the studio, of course, you're absolutely right, that it's about how we finish now. And if you're looking with your